24 karat gold, a block about this big that they airbrush onto the outside of the dome. And this building was not here during the Revolutionary period. It wasn't built until the 1790s by an architect named Charles Goldfinch, who was one of the foremost architects of the brand new United States of America, born right here in Boston. But he helps develop the Federalist style that becomes the look of new American buildings, especially government buildings. So if this style of building was shaped with the columns of the dome, that's probably because this same architect, a couple decades later, goes down to Washington, D.C. and starts work on the United States Capitol building, Massachusetts first. So this building, built in 1790, was not here during the colonial era. What was? If you take a look at this image, this is an engraving that shows the Boston Common in the 1760s. You'll notice that parts of it look pretty similar. You can see Bostonians enjoying themselves among the trees. You can see a lot of grassy green space, some livestock over here, sheep and cattle, as opposed to squirrels and off-leash dogs, but still some animals. You can see soldiers training over here, but up here on Beacon Hill, the hill we're now standing down on the underside of, not the State House, but in fact the glamorous mansion of Mr. John Hancock, a Bostonian we'll be hearing from quite a bit throughout this tour. The Hancock Mansion is no longer still standing, but if you were to stand in his yard in the 1760s, look out at Boston, you're seeing a very different landscape from the one that you're looking at now. Not just because the coastline has expanded, but also because Boston in the 1760s and 1770s is quite a small town. It's got a population of only 15,000 people, which still makes it one of the largest cities here in the American colonies, third after Philadelphia and New York, and the fourth largest port city anywhere in the British Empire. Trade is the lifeblood of Boston in the colonial era, and trade in that time period happens on ships on the ocean. It's another very important part of the Bostonians' livelihood. Looking out here at the landscape in the 1760s and 70s, the highest parts of the skyline aren't going to be skyscrapers and cranes like they are today. It's going to be church steeples and ship's masts out in the harbor. On top of our State House today, you can see kind of a pointy little egg-shaped ornament up top. That's actually a pine cone, specifically the cone of the white pine tree. White pines used to cover New England. They're known for growing very straight and very tall, which makes them a very good ship. A very good fit for building ship's masts. Shipbuilding is a huge industry here in Massachusetts, as is merchant trade, bringing in goods from all over the empire. Here in Boston, just about everybody knows that their lifestyle and their livelihood depends on that maritime trade. Wealthy Bostonians like Hancock are merchants or ship owners. They're making money off of import-export, essentially. Everyday Bostonians who work in trades are building ships, they're weaving ropes, they're making sails, they're curing fish to feed sailors all over the world, and everybody in Boston is also dependent on trade goods that are being brought in from elsewhere, things like glass, paint, paper, fabric, tea, spices, all those things coming in from elsewhere. So just about everybody here in Boston is reliant on this maritime trade. And just like the idea of self-government, anybody who comes in and interrupts that trade, changes how it works, makes it harder to do, is not going to make any friends here in the city of Boston. Boston's a very stratified city in this time period. The wealthy merchants, the Hancocks, are not hanging out socially with the working people of Boston. It's also stratified because slavery is still legal here up until 1783. Massachusetts is actually the first colony to officially make slavery legal as early as 1640. And by the 1760s, the start of our time period, 10% of the population here in Boston is enslaved. That's 1,500 people of African and indigenous descent who are not free, who are in bondage, and their unpaid labor helps to make the city's economy function, just like that trade network does. So everybody here in town is familiar with this idea of enslavement, and plenty of people are aware of the irony of fighting for liberty and freedom while 10% of their population is enslaved. There are a lot of different definitions of liberty, of what it means to be free here in Boston in this time period, and a lot of them do conflict. That's something we'll be talking about throughout our tour. as well as the experiences of both free and enslaved Bostonians, and some enslavers as well. Even among the people who were most vocally crying for liberty, they were enslaving others as well. So that's a contradiction of life in Boston that we'll be talking about throughout the tour. If you want to put yourself in the mindset of a colonial Bostonian, imagine that all of these skyscrapers aren't here. Imagine that you're looking out at a much smaller town, mostly of 2- and 3-story wooden and brick buildings. Imagine that you are hearing church bells all the time instead of construction and cars. Imagine that you're smelling tar from the shipbuilding industry, water from the ocean, spices being brought in on ships from all over the world. Imagine that your favorite beverages are tea and cider. And imagine that every weekend you spend about 4 hours in a Puritan meeting house for church services. That's the most common form of religion here in Massachusetts, even into the 1760s or 1770s. Boston is a very religious city. It's a very mercantile city. Quite different from the Boston of today, but still built on top of the same lines. Any questions about what it's like to be a colonial Bostonian before we move on to our last stop here in the comments?
Hand in hand, dancing till the break of dawn. Energy soaring, never grounded. Boston music feeling free. A moment in time, just you and me. Feel the beat, let's ignite. This night is all that shines so bright. Together we'll rise, reach for the sky. No limits, let's fly. Electric lights, endless fun. Dancing till the morning sun. With you by my side, we'll run. Let's make this night seconds in line. Our next stop, the Granary Burying Ground, is made. So we're going to go talk about the burial practices here in England, and we're going to meet some of the leaders of revolutionary Boston who are buried right there in Granary. We're going to make our way over in that direction now. With you by my side, we'll run. Let's make this night seconds in line. The night is young, the music's playing.
Can you tell we're tourists?
I'm proud of it.
Absolutely.
First timers.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm like, hey. Right? There's no jobs without tourists like me. Oh, sis, this is where we were at. This is the graveyard we walked by where we got lost. This is where Paul Revere and John Hancock is buried.
Is always shine so bright. Together we'll rise, reach for the sky. No limits, let's fly. Electric nights, endless fun. Dancing till the morning sun. With you by my side, we'll run. Let's make this night seconds to none. Electric nights, endless fun. Dancing till the morning sun. With you by my side, we'll run. Let's make this night seconds to none. The night is young, the music playing. Let's keep this party going.
Time stood still, just like a photograph you made me
We are
feel.
here in one of the oldest colonial era burying grounds here in New England. This is where 5,000 people are buried under about 2,300 tombstones. There are a lot of folks in unmarked graves here in this burying ground. And I call it a burying ground and not a cemetery or graveyard because those are different things. A burying ground.
5,000 right here.
5,000 people's mark, yep. So a burying ground is a very particular New England tradition. Heart Street Church right there on the corner, like we talked about, by over 100 years. You'll notice that the symbolism and artistic style in this burying ground is quite different from what you might see in a modern cemetery. You're not going to find a lot of flowers, a lot of doves, a lot of religious symbols. You are going to find a lot of skulls and skeletons. The Puritans were very into what we call memento mori symbolism. That's a Latin phrase meaning remember that you too will die. So the most common symbol here in this burying ground is what we call a death's head or spirit effigy. It's a skull with wings that's carved into the top of many tombstones here in Granary, and it represents the spirit flying away to heaven, leaving the body behind on earth. Very matter of fact about such things. Mortality rates are quite high here in colonial Boston. As many as 50% of children don't live to their 5th birthday. A lot of diseases and injuries that are now getting back Siren a second. Here in Granary, there are 3 signers for the Declaration of Independence, and there are some of the leaders of the Sons of Liberty. So this is a movement, a political movement that starts right here in Boston. That starts in the early 1760s. Initially, it's just a group of concerned citizens meeting to discuss politics in bars and taverns. But as the political situation changes, as our friend King George III starts to overreach his power more and more here in the city of Boston, Sons of Liberty get bigger and bigger, more elaborate, a lot more people join. Some of the leaders of this movement are right here in Granary Burying Ground. In the 1760s, at the start of our story, they are not yet worried about freedom or liberty from England. That's not the definition of liberty they're using. They're worried about the liberty to be English, the rights and liberties of an English subject. Their argument is that they are English subjects of the king like any other, but they don't have the same rights and liberties as English people all the way in England. They don't have representation in Parliament. They don't get a say in any of the laws that are made on their behalf. One of the types of laws that they're most interested in this time period is laws about taxation. We'll talk about the idea of no taxation without representation in more detail in a second. But first, we have the final resting place of John Hancock's house we talked about earlier, one of the leaders of this movement. Their activities here in Boston. Both the Sons of Liberty. Busy man in Boston. He's involved city because he has several other jobs besides silversmithing. He has 16 children, so either to pay for those kids or get out of the house, depending on who you ask. He's doing a lot of other side work around the city. He's an engraver, so he carves images. So what he does is he takes half of Boston's oldest burying ground, not consecrated public land. He can technically do whatever he likes with it. He moves the bodies on that half to the other half and puts King's Chapel on the spot. So not a very popular move, but King's Chapel obviously still there by the 1760s and 70s. It's a very well-established Anglican congregation. A lot of prominent, wealthy Bostonians attending services there. And that is where the funeral of that 11 boy Christopher Ziner takes place in 1770. We're gonna talk about that in a sec, but first we've got to talk about the condition. Central unit of that idea of self-government. That's where all of those government decisions were made mostly. This time period in the town of what the land was to then. But anybody who attended Boston, the guy breaks the great door of the vibe is so well attended that he can't even get in the front door. In the window around the back. And he also is known for his flair for the dramatics.
I know how psychic it is.
Wanted to be with everybody, but she
Welcome to the Jay Jaxn Show. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna start like walking behind him and just filming him the whole time. I'll be like, welcome to the Jay Jaxn. Yeah.
Jay's reality.
Jay's reality show. The way Jay Jaxn travels for Raider Nation. Yeah. Experience the Raider life through Jay Jaxn.
Step where Jay's
Steps.
live in action.
Now it's the right time to do the right things. Has become an hour very cold and uncertain soul. Longing's going backwards to understand when the glory shimmers around the rising sun. You better stop it, you say, you better think it that way. There's not too much to worry about the things you bury deep down in the past. Time runs too fast, but if you want, my friend, you can start it over again. Now it's
Perhaps previously considered that these problems of taxation and the rights of the Englishmen concerned them. Now they've seen that the British Army is willing to turn against its own people in the heart of its own city. Nobody's safe. So this brings a lot of Bostonians over to the Sons of Liberty's side of things, over to the Patriot cause. But this also changes how the Sons of Liberty are thinking about it as well. Suddenly it seems a lot less important to focus on issues like taxation.
We are now headed to Quincy's Market.
Justin, you got Red Bull.
Alright everybody, hey, this is Jaxn here, your Navajo on the go, and today our travels take us to Quincy Market. We're here in Boston for the Patriots and the Raiders game, but we're walking around town. We just got off one of the tours. We're going to another one, so let's go on inside and take a look at what's available in here. Come on.
Yeah, that's
Alright, we got Raiders fans here. Oh, really? Hey, we got Italy here.
Oh, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Will.
On the airplane.
Colorado. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
We met some Italians at dinner last night.
Yeah.
Here, Cincinnati. Oh, thank you. Well, he's from Colorado. He's from
Nevada.
They're from Oklahoma. Buongiorno. Nice to meet you guys.
What do you think about that?
It's going to be interesting. I think we really got a good chance.
Let's go for it. It doesn't rain. Because it's 70%.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, it's cool. We're playing snow, rain, anything.
It's better for this time to be to drive.
So how do you say go Raiders in Italian?
Forza Raiders.
You understand that?
Forza Raiders. Yeah, we're gonna record you guys live.
Can you say it louder?
Go Forza! Lot 55B, guys. At the game, if you guys want to come eat, Lot 55B, we'll have free beers, we'll have free food. You guys are more than welcome. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
You match that with some water, ready for that.
Good.
Marlene. We need to get a lobster roll.
Lobster rolls? There we go, lobster rolls in Quincy's Market. Woo!
Oh my god, look at this, $26. Where do you want it? I want to get a lobster roll. What is that?
I wanted this,
Can we order one of Okay.
Making Raider friends all around that day.
That's it. Welcome to the I guess to the shit. There we go, wherever we go. Ay, papa, look at the size of those lobsters. Man, why did I eat breakfast?
I don't know. I don't know, Jay, I just thought
Is it good?
Look at that, guys. Look at that right there. Lobster. Ooh, look at these are freaking huge. Let's go and try and bite. Oh, yeah. Oh, Red Bulls, that's on
It's different prices, different locations. Oh my god. Oh yeah, Seattle.
emerging victorious.
First day. Sorry, guys.
So everybody, I hope you enjoyed our pictures and videos. We had a great time in there. The food was outstanding. Wow. Now there's a t-shirt there I want to buy called Naughty Waffles. This part reminds me of our Baltimore.
Where's the fabric district?
Let's go down this way, Marlene. You know Tokyo?
I was surprised.
Cyborg relations, that's right. I am an experimental prototype robot worker. My inventor designated me as super defunct, logically effective and surprisingly good. Model 4000, did you see what I spelled? S-L-I-S-H. You can call me Splash. Hi, everybody. And this is my colleague and friend, Captain Steve. Give it.
Oh, there you go. Oh, dude, look at those sandwiches. Want some empanadas, bro? Empanadas? Yeah, like, there's a lot of places. Ho, 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 ho.
Awesome cream pie.
Yeah. It's a spinach and cheese calzone, bro. There we go.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I'm sorry you got a snack. Oh man. No, Kennedy. Yeah, do that again. Sure. Do it to the camera. Put it in the camera, like in the lens. There we go. Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry. Dark bomb. We don't have any get flesh either. That's all the thing. We don't even know that.
Look at all the patches and the stickers.
Oh yeah. It's off these. First responder with
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, how do I do this?
So you drop it in and then you chug.
It's allowed.
And then,
Ready? Cheers!
Cheers! Cheers!
oh.
Go, go, go!
Oh, wow. Champ is here. The champ is